Hello! Today we are going to talk about renewable energy. Renewable energy is something that I have been very interested in because it has so many applications. There's so many different kinds of renewable energy, and it's sort of that like holy grail of like the future. And it's something that is political, it's environmental, it has a lot of different aspects that really appeal to an entrepreneur and to a thinker. It's really the next level thing that has a whole lot of barriers that still need to be knocked down. So it's kind of like a big challenge. So it's really interesting to study because it's a wonder why, if we have all these energy sources, all these different applications, why are they not being implemented? What's the political reasons? And it comes down to the economy, and it comes down to what the initiatives of our government is. So, excuse me. So, again, renewable energy is just a really great area to study. There's so many different areas you can study. So I'm very excited about this subject. So basically, we're going to go through the overview, current trends, applications, development process, the approach. So we're going to check all that kind of stuff out. So renewable energy is important. It's important for the environment. It's important for creating jobs, and it's important for, believe it or not, national security. So basically, for the environment piece, the environment is affected by the energy that we are consuming, how much energy we consume, and by which way that we're consuming that energy, which source we're getting it from. So non-renewable sources typically are bad for the environment and can cause climate change. So that has negative effects, melting of the polar ice caps. It can have an effect on wildlife. So these are things that we want to try to avoid, and we want to try to think about renewable energy and how it can really make a positive impact on the environment. Creating jobs. So renewable energy does create jobs in the United States and other countries. As you can see in this graph of the many different technologies through renewable energy, all the different applications, there were thousands of jobs created and millions of jobs created. But the United States is still not leading that, and unfortunately, we would like to be number one on it, but we're not. We're still dependent a lot on non-renewable energy sources. So we're not as advanced as, say, China or Europe or Brazil. So national security. Believe it or not, renewable energy is a national security item, because if we are able to create our own energy, we will not need it from other countries, and it will help our economy. Of course, there's a lot of people who will argue that and say that it will hurt our economy to go with renewable energy sources. But for the most part, just for the national security aspect of it, just for the concept of the fact that if you as a country can provide all the things that you need, you don't have to go outside for that, conceptually that would mean that you are nationally secure. So that's that piece. So current trends. So the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is leading efforts to address global climate change. The temperatures are getting higher and higher every year, and the IPCC actually releases a publication every year to address global climate change. So they are the who's who of the global warming and renewable energy. They basically hold the key to it all. Algae based biofuels are really a hot topic right now. I think they're really interesting as well. There's a lot of research that's being done on it. I think it's pretty cool. Using algae to create energy, and the microbes, and on the cellular level using all that. I think it's just really interesting. So that's one area that's current trend. Current trend is also the utilities industry's business model are expected to change. There are most utility companies do understand that they're going to have to start changing their business models to reflect to more renewable energy sources. So that's kind of like one of the biggest things that's been lagging, and why renewable energy doesn't have as much jobs in the United States, is because the business models really need to be changed, and I think that we've just been in denial for a long time. So current trend with utility industry business, a lot of them are changing their business models. So the applications. Applications are solar, wind, geothermal, bioenergy, hydropower, ocean energy, and hydrogen and fuel cells. So solar energy is based off the sun, turns the sun's energy into electricity. You can find solar panels. They also call it photovoltaic energy on, in parking lots, on houses. You can see them. You see them pretty much everywhere. So it's pretty cool. There's solar. Wind. So wind has to do with turbines. There's actually lots of wind turbines around here in the Northern California area. The turbines act as basically a small generator. And the only thing about wind is that it has to be connected to a secondary power source as well. So you can't just stick it out anywhere. It's not self-sustaining. So wind is kind of limited in that sort of aspect. Geothermal. Geothermal works off of the heat of the planet, whether it's water, and it will create steam and power a generator. So geothermal is pretty interesting. There's geothermal. Bioenergy. Bioenergy is, we talked about it earlier. Again, the algae bioenergy is one way. There's a lot of different bioenergies that can happen. Grass, burning twigs can create bioenergy. So this is kind of interesting aspect as well. Hydropower. Hydropower is pretty cool. We see this a lot in dams. Why not get extra energy out of a dam? Ocean energy. So this one's like probably one of the coolest. This is a really cool slide from the Oregon State University Conceptual Wave Park of these little, basically generator buoys that take the power from the waves and kind of generate that. So I'm just really, really excited about ocean energy. Hydrogen and fuel cells. So basically, hydrogen, oxygen creates protons. They basically excite, and it ends up creating energy. So hydrogen fuel cells are really popular right now for cars, for smart cars, and for electric cars. So basically, development process. So emerging global environment concerns provide funding to develop new. So basically, development is driven by this overwhelming, oh my god, this world is going to end, sort of scare tactics. Product lifestyle management is a driving force in streamlining clean energy initiatives. It's called PLM. It's basically like design. It has the same ideas as design, designing a business and going back and testing those designs, and then iterating it once again to a new concept. So PLMs really help energy companies stay on the forefront of their businesses and without losing on profits that they might have gained, because it integrates the business models into their ventures. So also, large-scale, low-cost solutions are the holy grail. So basically, big business doesn't like green energy. Green energy isn't going to make money. We saw a dip in the investments in clean energy last year. So the holy grail basically is to find an energy, a green energy, renewable energy business that can actually make money. Okay, also, engineers and business experts. So this is the approach. So this is basically what is going to be, and I know I'm kind of going over, but this is what is next for energy. You have to get engineers and business experts to come together to create these initiatives, because if you can engineer something, that's great, but if you can't make it work in the market, it's not going to work. So that's the one piece. The other piece is educating the public. So this is really cool. Tinkerbell. So we're starting to get people really young into saving energy. So when I was a kid, we had a lot of like reduce, reuse, recycle. It was more about recycling, but now kids are more taught about energy, and they're using kind of Tinkerbell as a way to show this here. In conclusion, basically the degradation of natural resources and pollution will ultimately decide what's next for green technology. I mean, I can sit here and talk to you all day about, renewable energy, but the fact of the matter is that when we are out of non-renewable sources, that will ultimately lead to innovation. However, we may not have an Earth here when that point comes. So it's sort of like that Goldilocks syndrome of let's go ahead and do it now because we might be past the point of no return. So that's kind of my final thought on that is renewable energy resources are really important. But again, there's a lot of barriers and hurdles to jump through to implement them. And ultimately, if we want to better the planet, if we want to stay self-sustaining in our own country and create jobs for ourselves, I think we should definitely think more about green technology and green energy. And that's it. Thank you.